Well, good evening, and welcome back to VP4 Online. And it's not Friday Night 9-Ball. We're here for the brackets for this year's 2022 Virtual Pool 4 Straight Pool World Championships, which the bracket should be going up in about 4 minutes' time. And, well, excuse the voice because the voice is 10 times better than what it was 3 days ago because I didn't have one. I had some sort of bug. I don't know whether it was the bug, and it laid me low for a couple of weeks, and then it was getting better, and then I got a sore throat, and then the voice went completely. So it won't be a long stream, I have to say. Welcome everybody. It won't be that long a stream because the voice won't hold out, and I'll give advance notice I won't be doing Friday Night 9-Ball on Friday because I don't think the voice would last 3 3/4 hours like it did last week. Right, semi-pros arrived, and for anybody who doesn't know, he's asked me to mention that he's broke his own high run, not in a tournament though, but in practice. He's broke a straight pool high run, and it's now 271, I think it was. Good evening to Moz. The draw hasn't been made yet, it's just about to be though. Now, just one thing to clarify, and Moz and other people present will be able to clarify this. Semi-Pro had me totally confused with his terminology that he uses, and only he uses it in pool, as far as I know, because I've never heard anybody use this terminology. Let's just have a look at the pack here. Now, I'm just going to use my little doodle and point out a couple of balls. Now, those two balls there, the question to you guys in the stream is, what balls are those? What terminology do you use to refer to those two balls in the pack? Good evening to Potman. And LS3 has come up with the answer straight away. They are corner balls. Now, according to Semi, he refers them in his mind to side balls, and that's what totally confused me. So that's clarified that matter. You always refer those two as the corner balls on the corner of the pack. Now, Potman, as I said on Friday Night 9-Ball last week, I was getting better, and then I went downhill, and the voice went, and it's getting slightly better. One thing to mention, Potman, did you get a post on Facebook today if you've subscribed to Kartcraft? Kartcraft has now gone public. They've got about 2 or 3 more tracks on it. I had a look at them today. Some quite good little tracks in it. The multiplayer is still strange. I still think you have to click in a room and then wait until you join it. I don't know whether you're actually racing with live guys and whether you can hit them or not. I've not tested it, but I may well do that tomorrow. Right, anyway guys, to more important matters. The one thing also to mention is Semi had mentioned to Steve about an issue on the break in straight pool where you could call a corner ball and it would go in with a regularity that Steve was concerned about. So he's done a tweak to the pockets. The straight pool tournament now says narrow pockets. What that is, I don't know. We'd have to ask Steve as to whether it's just gone back to the normal tighter pockets. If it has, then the chances of as high a run have been reduced because of that. Larry says the tweak didn't work. Maybe he can give us a bit more detail. But do you know what the pocket size is now, Larry? Because it's now saying narrow. So presumably that to me just means the tighter pocket, the normal tournament pocket. But we'll see. Anyway, let's look at the tournament. The bracket has now gone up. We'll have a look at the bracket. I should point out for everybody that hasn't read the rules, etc. It's a race to 200 on the winner's side. If you lose a match, it goes to a race to 150 on the one-loss side, and the final is to 300. There's a 10-minute match timeout. It's at hard times. It says table set up, tournament, blah blah, winner breaks, etc. We know about that. But then it says narrow pocket size, which if it is the normal narrow setting, then that will mean that high runs will be available, but you won't be able to cheat the pocket anywhere near as much as you can, and you could in last year's tournament. We'll have to see how that goes. 3 foul is on, jump cues are off, and then he's got $3 for the high runs, etc. What's that there about? What's that there about Stub? I can't read it because my eyes are smarting up. Oh, I need to get out my chair. What does that say? Oh, fines will increase for multiple offenders. Stub starts at 1,000. Yeah, that's one thing I agree with. Bailing out before someone's finished a run or affecting the stats, they should be bailed out of the tournament. They shouldn't be fined. I don't think. Steve's too lenient as far as that goes. Anyway, look at the draw. Well, Moz has got Hazard in the first round. Shibo is playing Christian. Albinario, the jammy Swede, has got a bye, as has Sylvia further down. I'm sure she'll be glad of that. And Spud Boy is playing Acero, and Acero should be the strong favourite for that one. Matt Clark, MC Clarkey, is playing... Who the hell's that? Is that Wanwa? My eyes are really going. I should be in bed. Yes, it is. So that might be a tighter match. That might be hard to call, that match, but there's a few questions to ask of a lot of these players, considering that they may well have been in last year's tournament. We'll get to that in a minute. Snake Eyes is playing Tommy Yu. That should be a good match. Sylvia has a bye, as I mentioned. Oh dear. Oh dear. Get a new mouse, Larry. Larry's playing semi-pro in the first round. Popman. Popman has got Vinces. Oh, is Vinces signed up? Oh, that's hotting things up. We'll get to see how he's doing in the tournament. Because he hasn't been in a few of these, but goodness me, there's another good first round match. Mr. Fox against Bedhead. LS3 has got a bye, so there's something going on with this bracket. That's the 2 females in the tournament. I've got a bye. Let's be questioning how this is set up. By the way, I'm not saying there's any skullduggery going on, but let's be honest. The 2 females have gone through. Oh, there's the third one, Stub. He's got, I can't read that, the Great Guru in the first round. And Sergresh has got Ice Age. I would imagine Sergresh should be the favourite to go through in that one. Eloquente plays Woody. And I don't know how that will go, because I haven't seen really either of them play an awful lot. Brainflout has a bye, and Bankster has got Hairpig in the first round. So, well, there are some interesting matches. Who did Moz get? I thought Moz was in the tournament. I never mentioned Moz. What happened to you? Did he bail out at the last minute? Or did I say it has? And I did. It was the very first one, wasn't it? Right. Now, one thing to mention is whether any of you guys, it might seem obvious, but any of you guys who are playing in this tournament and may well have played in it last year, as to whether you are going to follow the disciplines and try and follow them in order to get longer runs, because you have to stick to that plan more or less, unless you have to bail out somewhere, but you have to focus and concentrate on that break ball. And more importantly, the most important thing is not running into balls. The one question I would ask, I would love to have seen, what's his name, Jason Shaw's high run, to see whether Jason Shaw was letting the cue ball run as much as, for example, Semi-Pro was doing in his run of 271, as to whether Shaw was doing anything similar or different. And I can't see any. There is a clip of a video of some of the run when he gets to 620 odd to break Schmidt's record on YouTube. But it's only some guy giving his opinion. It doesn't show you that anywhere near the whole video, or the whole run. But it'd be interesting to see how Jason Shaw actually goes about it. And the one thing that was also mentioned on that thing on YouTube is that in the recent challenge, or the recent event that was on just after Christmas, or leading up to Christmas, where a lot of the big guys were in trying to make the high runs, Earl Strickland, etc., Shane Van Boning, I think, none of those guys could get, as Cobra bailed out, I thought Cobra was in it. He must have pulled the plug at the last minute. I knew somebody was missing. I thought it was Moz. Yeah, he mentioned one thing, though, that when these guys were attempting these high runs, and this might be a pointer as to how and why Jason Shaw ended up getting the world record, that none of those guys could get a run over 400. But Jason Shaw, I believe, had like 3 runs over 400 or something until he got his final run of 714. So he's doing something right. And I mentioned to Semi-Pro as well about the size of the pockets in VP4. Now, the pockets that Jason Shaw made his run on were 5 inches. I'm assuming that that is 5 inches in VP4. Only Steve could clarify that. And the reason that there were 5 inches on Jason Shaw's table is that that was the same specification that Schmidt had on his when he beat the high run and got 626, I believe. So that now that the tournament setup has changed, my assumption is that the pockets, where are we going now? Hang on a minute. The pockets have changed to narrow. So if I go to custom table and put the pocket size to narrow and hit OK, if we now look at what the setup is, I mean that's the normal tournament table. So high runs are going to be at a premium in this tournament now if Steve changed it to that. And I think if he has changed it to that, then he's not really done anything in terms of tweaking much to stop the ball getting in the break. He's only done it to make it tougher for the ball to get in the break, to make the pocket tighter. So I don't. It's a strange thing to change. But the one thing that you'll find now is there's no way you can cheat the pocket anywhere near as much as you could in last year's tournament. So high runs are going to be very much at a premium. I'm going to stick my neck out and say you'll be hard pushed to get a 150 run in this tournament with those pockets. You'll need to be really accurate, and as I say, you cannot cheat. The only thing I would say that you'd benefit from is probably when you go into the pack, you've cut down the percentage of you're likely to scratch slightly. But that's only one benefit. I think the negatives far outweigh the benefits of it. Stubb was blustering on that he wanted tighter pockets. Well, that is immaterial. If you don't put the ball in the right spot anyway, you should know that. And he hasn't been putting in much practice from what I've seen. So anybody that gets a 150 run in this tournament will do well to get it, because it really is not conducive to high runs to have it on the narrow pockets. I think anybody prior to the tournament who was bleating to get narrower pockets are going to have to step up to the plate, because if they think they play better and they can make higher runs with tighter pockets, then they're looking at it through a warped set of glasses. It just won't happen. But 150 will be the goal, I would say, in this tournament. For anybody to get that, that'll be excellent. Because if you get out of line slightly, or you have any of those awkward cuts that you had in that run of 271 semi-pro, they ain't going in. You have got to keep it really on the margin to get these balls to go in. The cheating of the pocket, you're going to push the boat out. I'm going to say right now, anybody that gets 150 high run or above, they'll win the high run prize, because I don't think many other people will get near it. We'll see how Stubb does. His high run last year was 72. So I would reckon that is going to be hard pushed for him to beat that. So quick recap. Moz with Hazard in the first round. And Schiebel has Christian. Schiebel should go through in that. But again, I don't know how often he's ever played straight pool. But the likely front runners, Albinario has a bye. Spud Boy to play Acero. And Acero is always in with a shout. MC Clarkey to play Wanwa. Or Fan, Snake Eyes, Tommy Yu. That's the one match I'd want to see as well. Sylvia with a bye. Larry with semi-pro. Well, something's got to give in that match. Popman with Vinces. Fantastic Mr. Fox against Bethead. So there are four good matches that I want to see. Stubb against the Great Guru. Needless to say, some of these people won't show, and knowing Stubb, he'll be jammy. He'll end up getting through anyway. Sergeresh with Ice Age. Eloquente against Woody. Brain Fill Out with a bye. And Bankster with Hairpig. Now, just a mention on the matches. Obviously, you guys know that I can only stream matches provided you set them at a time to suit me. Now, I mentioned last Friday that as far as I know, I have a week off. I'm not sure if it's next week yet or the week after. But what I do know is that I'm off today. I'm off tomorrow. I'm back to work on Friday. And then I'm off Saturday and Sunday this weekend. But back to work Monday morning, if that's the case. But I won't be able to know that 100% until Friday. But I think Popman's mentioned one thing that I wanted to mention. I haven't looked to see how many signed up last year, but I'll tell you why not many will have signed up. And compared to last year, if there was more signed up last year, there's more scared this year, because they've seen how the tournament progressed. A lot of these players have seen what you have to be able to do in order to get a run going in this game in straight pool. It's not a case of just banging balls and potting balls. You have to follow that discipline. You have to pick out your break ball. You have to be ready to take another course of action if you get into trouble. So you've got to be able to deal with situations, and there's a lot of players like potting balls, but they're not great at dealing with situations. Only them that are and can see problems ahead will be able to deal with them. In terms of the long run, well, we've already discussed that. That is going to be tough if it's going to stay on the tight pockets. If that was the way of solving the ball and the break, it wasn't really a physics change as such, or nothing major if Larry says it hasn't fixed it. So it was a bit pointless at the end of the day. So maybe this was just the only solution, is to tighten the pockets up. Well, Stubbs got what he's wanted. A few others have, but they'll pay the price. So they won't be they won't be getting anywhere near any high runs. I'm going to stick my neck out and say that 150 is a goal. You get that, you're a hero. But in between, 50 and 100 would still be good, but nowhere near 714, as of course it can't be. I did mention to Steve yesterday when he spoke to me. I said he'd need to up the points goal in straight through in VP4 to 750, because at the moment I believe it only goes to 500. So yeah, it only goes to a maximum of 500. So you've got no chance of approaching Shaw's world record in VP4. 500 would be huge, but I think you've got a slim chance of doing that. But you have to be doing it on the normal pockets, really, to get decent big runs in straight pool. Because when you look at the world records that have been achieved in long runs, they've never been done in tight pockets. And Steve always has insisted that straight pool has never played in tight pockets, and I'll take his word for that. But he's gone back in his word if he's made the tournament pockets the norm for this one. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, that was the other thing to mention I forgot to have a look at. Hang on. If we look at the dates, well, that's the draw being done tonight, and the deadline for those first round matches is 9 p.m. on February, the 5th or the 9th? What's that say? February the 5th. So that's a good while away yet, because it's the 26th. Another 5 days left in January, so you've got 10 days to get your match arranged. That's plenty of time. And of course, between now and those 10 days, if you've got a bye, you've got plenty more days to get some practice in. So good luck to everybody that's in it. Work on that. Work on the discipline. That's the thing I keep talking about, because that is the thing you have to focus on. As soon as you break those balls, or as soon as you get to the table, once you've planned your route, it's the only way you're going to be able to string balls together in this game. Stubb will do it his way, and we know what will happen there. He'll get picked off. He doesn't seem to want to follow the rules. He doesn't follow the rules in the chat. He doesn't follow the rules in the game, and he doesn't win the big tournaments because of it. So good luck to him, but good luck to everybody else that's in it. Thanks for joining. And what was Larry saying there? Well, it is, Larry. That's the thing. It is. You see, that's the problem. That's the problem with it going to narrow pockets, because now you're so focused, you're more focused on making that pot, and you're going to sacrifice the better position because of it. It swings and roundabouts in 6.5 a dozen, because you could sacrifice position slightly with the wider pockets. And now you have to weigh up the pros and cons of both. And I just think that it's such a tough ask to be able to get lucky enough, long enough to get to 150. You're going to get mucked up somewhere along the way. It's still going to be a very, very good run for anybody to break the 3 figures on the narrow pockets. So I would hedge my bets on that. I mean, even last year's high runs, we had a top 10, but there was only 3 people got over 100. Is that right? Cobra, Semi-Pro, and Larry. I don't think anybody else. I don't think anybody else broke three figures, even on the normal pockets. So that just shows you again that that there's a technique to do it, and a lot of these other guys are in with the notion of just potting balls, etc. And then before they know it, they've ran out of balls to be able to continue the run. But the ones that do have that focus are the ones that will get the runs, and it'll be the usual culprits, the same people as last year. It'd be unlikely anybody could step out from the sidelines and do anything different. Did Bedhead get one as well? I knew there was only about 3 or 4. I couldn't remember Bedhead, but I mean, you know, it's going to be the quality players that will be able to do it, and this makes it even more likely that that's going to be the case. So we'll see what happens. Anybody who is looking to arrange a match, if you want it to be live streamed, then I would still suggest that if you're going to arrange it, please don't arrange it for any later than say 7:30 GMT. Any later than that in a match that could last 2 hours, 2.5 hours, that's too late for me in terms of the finishing time. But I'll have a better understanding of whether I'm off next week or not. So if I'm off next week, then it won't matter, but I'll let you know on that. So with that, the voice is beginning to go even worse again. I'm away for a cup of coffee. Thanks for joining. Good luck to everybody in it. I hope we do get some high runs, but you're going to have to stay focused, guys. So take care, stay safe. I'll bid you good night, and I will see you again soon. But I won't be here for Friday night 9 ball. That's one thing. I'm not going to do 4 hours. I can't handle it. The voice would totally go. So I'm off then. Take care. See you again soon.